to the Voice of Africa TV. Today we have a very special guest who goes by the name of Miss Nancy Isime. She's a
Yeah,
Nigerian TV host and actor. Hello, Nancy. How you doing today?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for coming on our platform. We really appreciate it.
So much for having me.
Sure. Can you please tell us about your childhood growing up?
My childhood growing up was pretty normal, like the normal Nigerian, childhood. You go to school, you do what you can. My dad was a disciplinarian. I lost my mom at 5, and then of course my dad was quite strict, restricting you and trying their best to raise a child who is maybe a plus to society. Our parents can sometimes take it to the whole 9 yards.
Mhm.
That verse in the Bible that says, "Spare the rod and spoil."
Oh, I've
Ah,
heard that so many times. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. I
they
know.
carry that verse on their head, like that's the verse for them.
Yeah. That's
But
crazy.
yeah, I grew up under a disciplinarian dad, but my childhood was pretty decent. It was fun. Um, yeah, it was depressed here and there, but it was good.
You know what? Like, there's something that really. Have you heard of that whole like saying that you're not supposed to like beat your children growing up and
Mm.
stuff like that? What's your perspective on that? Like, would you beat your kids?
I would beat my kids,
Thank you. Okay, thank you. I definitely respect that. I feel like you have to.
run them into a wall if they think they're going to be new.
Yeah, you gotta let them know because I feel like that kind of grooms you as a person to growing up. As much as like, yeah, it might hurt or whatever, but like, I feel like I am the way I am because I got beat. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, I mean, with our parents, some of our parents really didn't know how to, put things in moderation. So they literally would just, keep hitting a child. But I feel like with this 21st century and with the exposure that we have, it's okay to still beat your child when they're wrong, but also let them know what they did and also know how to love them. So it's like
Yeah.
a good balance of everything: love, care, scolding, and more beating.
No, it depends. Yeah, as long as there's balance, at the end of the day, I feel like it will work out perfectly. So,
Exactly.
what kind of memories or instances do you have? Do you think that helped shape the way you were or the way you are growing up now? Apart from the beatings, obviously.
Obviously, yes, the
Mhm.
beating definitely worked.
Mhm.
Because I think that also helped me learn how to respect my elders and respect everybody around me, because I was like the youngest. I was fourth out of 4 children, last born, before my dad remarried. So that kind of taught me how to, because everybody was so, my immediate elder sister was like 6, 7 years older than I am.
Mhm.
So I was a baby, but at the same time, everyone was so focused on scolding me and making sure that I don't go wrong for whatever reason. These
Right.
people, I don't that they saw my future and saw that I was going to be a sports brat.
That makes
I
sense. Mhm.
But I think all of this just shaped me and made me quite independent, because I've been independent since I can remember. After I lost my mom, I can remember just me doing things by myself and thinking for myself, doing things for myself. So all of these childhood experiences has also helped me become the person that I am today, where I can confidently, you know, um, stand my ground
Right.
no matter where I find myself.
Right. No, that's very interesting. Can you touch on, the experiences, that you had leading on to your career, early on, as a, TV or, a movie personality?
Can I do what now? Sorry.
Talk about like the experiences you had early on coming into that industry as a TV,
Mm.
movie personality.
Okay. Because I've gone through so many phases. I started as an usher at events, and then I went on to attending auditions as a model and getting a few gigs and finally becoming a professional model, working with agencies and stuff in Nigeria. And then, of course, I got my first acting gig off a runway show where one of the directors was like, he thinks I look good on camera, that I
Right.
should come audition for a role. and I went to audition. It was an open audition with people, and I read, and eventually I got a role off it. And then, also getting starting off my presenting career from the runway. So it's so funny because like I was ushering, and then my modeling started off ushering. You
Mm-hmm.
get me? And
Right.
then I was modeling, and then
TV
my
started
beauty.
off with.
Yeah, it was my beauty queen first, like my um yes, I'm an ex beauty queen as well. I'm Miss Valentine International 2009. And that came from being a model and just being around models. And come and audition for this, and I auditioned
Yeah.
and I won.
Wow.
And it was modeling that acting came, which was on runway somewhere. And then from acting, presenting came because some people came to cover the behind the scenes of a movie I was on at the time,
Mm-hmm.
years back. Like, you speak well, and I think you'd make a great presenter. Come and audition. We're looking for presenters at our TV station, and I went and I auditioned, did my screen test, and that's how I got the job. And so everything I've done has birthed the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right now we're talking about the Nancy Isime show, which was birthed off just the fact that I've been hosting a certain show in Nigeria for a couple of years. Last year I'd been hosting the show for 5 whole years,
Wow.
and just doing. So yeah, I think that's proof that no matter what you feel like you're doing right now, there's always another face that will come, that will be birthed just by putting your best into that face that you.
Right, and I think that's a great, quote that you just made right now. I feel like most time people would not really take into consideration how important the role is that they're in right now, at a certain time. Because even though they might not want to be, or it might not be their end goal, that can lead you to, whatever path that you want to take in life as well. So I think it's definitely important.
And when I started working, I really was working because I wanted to be able to like afford my fees to
Hmm.
go to Canada school and get like a BSc.
Yeah.
So that's why I was really working. I wasn't even working to like, okay, become so famous. I was so scared of fame because I see what they do to famous people,
Mm.
how they drag them from left to right and center,
Right.
and how they a private life and how they have to be a certain way. So I was quite petrified of fame. But then again, your talents, you don't get to choose where your talent takes you, especially when you're a hard worker, consistent. Certain things are just bound to happen. And I'm a huge believer of God. So I believe that this is my divine plan and this is where I'm supposed to be at this moment. I'm just soaking in everything one step at a time, and trying my best to stay away from drama.
Yeah, I think that's definitely key, especially in like Africa with those bloggers and stuff like that. That's all they eat off. So I definitely agree.
Get me. So I'm trying. I mean, but I think more than every other year, I've just totally allowed myself to be free and let go. Of course, still be morally upright, but still live my
Mhm.
life and not be worried about what someone would think about me. Because
Right.
I something happened where I was just like, wow, no matter how much of a good person I am, people are still going to cook up stories somehow,
Exactly.
and I've best to live as just and as right as I can. And I saw that a blog, a faceless blog with few followers, still cooked up some certain lies about me and put it out there. So I was like, this 2021, I will do what I want,
You got
post
to
what
do
I
it. There
want,
you
think what I want. Y'all are still gonna find a way to still make me look
go.
like, because I'm an actor and because actors have a certain image, because I'm in the industry, because I'm, famous, people are still just going to think the best baits, I will
Right.
bring traffic.
Right.
Might as well just live, be principled, but do your thing.
Exactly. No, I definitely agree with you on that as well. When, well, what like time did you think, or did you know it was time to branch into starting your own, show? Because you just touched on the fact that you have the Nancy Image show. When did you
Yes.
know that, it's time to start my own thing?
I think it was a few years back,
Hmm.
maybe in 2018 thereabouts, or even way earlier, 2015, 2016, almost immediately after I started hosting the show that I was hosting, probably a year after. I feel like for every TV presenter, it is the big dream to own your own show.
Hmm.
It's just, especially when you have mentors and role models who are also in the industry, it's always a big dream to eventually be able to say, I own this. This is me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I created this, I executive produced it. Of course, I was inspired by all my favorite shows, shows like the Oprah show, shows like the Ellen show. I just took snippets of each of them and also infused my own originality, my original ideas. Because the thing about talk shows is, honestly, they all follow, like, there's no talk show that's so original that has never been done before.
Yeah.
There is none. Even what you're doing now is probably being done somewhere else
Well,
as we
100%.
speak
Yeah.
now. So I was just able to just infuse all of these things, and then I said it's time for me to, now the big step. It's one thing to write, it's another thing to now execute, because sometimes you write and just squeeze it up and continue your
Exactly.
life. But I got together a producer. I asked questions. I got a budget, started to save towards it. And I shot the first one. It wasn't easy, but I shot it, and eventually I was able to bring it on TV. And then second season I shot last year, around this time last year, but sadly COVID had us, we had to chill, and we're coming back on this time.
So what?
So
Oh, you
yeah.
can go. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say, so yes, I literally thought about having my own show.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say roughly 4 or 5 years now. And
Wow.
yeah.
I feel like that also kind of just highlights on the fact that you just have that kind of entrepreneurial, spirit as well. Like just diving into the industry and knowing like, wow, right away that I want my own thing, and then going out to go ahead and then bringing it to fruition too. So I think we have to really commend you for that.
Thank you. I
Huge.
also cry a lot in between all of this amazing.
No, I can definitely imagine. Yeah.
I don't sleep anymore. I don't
Exactly.
listen. Easier to like work for other people and just know that I'm gonna do my best as a presenter. If your
Mhm.
show flops, it flops. Not
It's
my
not, it's
fault.
not mine, right?
You don't have a sponsor. Okay, then. So sorry, dear. Where's my salary? But we're responsible for. I think my audience members are over 250 for this season, and my crew members are about 80. That's just those. Yes, and then I'm responsible for publicizing the show and the entire thing, bringing it on TV, marketing, all of it.
It's
You
on your
know,
head.
yeah, so every time I just feel pressured, I just take a minute, go in my room and just cry it all out, and then come back to the drawing board. We're not. It's just we cry out the pressure, and then we come back even stronger and see what we can do. And whatever is proven to be too difficult, just means that maybe that's not the path to go. You just focus on where you flow naturally, even with the challenges, just able to flow.
No, yeah, and I definitely agree with you on that as well too. Because like it's so funny you touched on that subject about working for someone and the mentality that you might have. But when you work, it's like I'm doing the same thing with this platform now. And I'm working for myself. It's like, hey, I can't just sit back and be like, hey, at the end of the day, I'm gonna get paid. It's like if I want to get paid, I have to put in the work too. It's like no, that's definitely funny. So what can
Exactly.
we expect from the Nancy Isime show this season?
Um, again, sorry.
And what can we expect from the Nancy SMS show in this season, the upcoming season?
Right. Okay. So, a lot. Season one was a success in its own right. It's still in its baby phases. It's still the foundation. We're still trying to dig deep and make sure that the foundation is solid. But what
Wow.
you can definitely expect is a proper talk show. The fun, the excitement, the thrills that come with it. That's what we're expecting you to expect and to also get. There's a brand new segment called the karaoke segment where I invited, people that I know that I've worked with, that I love, I care about, and they were just happy to come and give us a good show. And so I'm expecting everyone to expect a good show, get celebrity interviews, human interest stories, box pop, interaction with the audience members, fun games, karaoke, packed 30 minutes. You blink, you lose a segment, literally. Yes.
So how do you? What's your creative process like? Because I feel like it definitely has to do a lot of it's a lot of creativity coming up, especially with these new segments with the karaoke? Like, do you have to be in like a certain mindset to be able to come up with all those?
For sure, for sure. As a creative, I feel like your environment definitely influences your mindset, which
Mm,
is why I don't know how to party, and parties are cool once in a while, but I don't know how to like be partying every time and make it in my schedule that, every Friday must party, you know, years without even showing up at a party and I'll be fine, So I love nature. I love being in spaces in my own space. I love being at home a lot because it gives me the opportunity to listen to myself and to hear myself.
mm,
You know, as a creative, it's really us against us, and it's just us in our heads. Like, if there's so much going on, then the ability to actually be creative is very, very slim. You know what I mean? So I sometimes take time off. I go to where I can find nature and be, soaked in nature. I go to the beach, I go to green places, and I just create. Even at home, I create. I let everything around me inspire me, and I try my best to make sure that my mental health is top notch. Yes, I have a therapist. Yes, I see a shrink. Um, yes, I meditate. Um, yes, I meditate actually times 100. And yes, I work out at least a minimum of 5 days a week. The best way to ever create anything is when you yourself, you're good, you're happy, you're a good place, you're at a good place, regardless of everything. I'm telling you I'm at a good place, but I'm also telling you that I cry a lot.
right.
So it doesn't mean that happy people who are in good places don't cry.
Mm-hmm.
We cry.
Oh,
I
100%.
tell you, but we
100%.
just not let any of those things get in here and just protect in here. And that's why.
Yeah, and I think that it's very important that you just touched on that subject of going to therapy, number one, and then having time for yourself as well. Because I was at a certain point in my life, especially when I started this, I would go maybe months straight without taking time off, or without taking time for myself. But that really takes a toll, on an individual. So I feel like it's very important for to touch on that, and for people that are watching this as well to know that it's okay to go to therapy, it's okay to do all that, because at the end of the day, if you're not okay mentally, there's nothing you can create.
You
Yeah.
just bounce every other person's creativity and you start to wonder, like, that's what you're sure of yourself. To know yourself is to be sure of yourself and to be aware that this is might be going slowly right now, but we're
Mhm.
headed somewhere. That's because
Right.
inside, know, the outside noise is not going in there. So I advise and I encourage everyone to go to therapy. I encourage everyone to work out. I encourage everyone to take meditation quite
Oh, that's very interesting. So, what has been your experience so far in Nollywood, and what are your thoughts of potentially expanding into international markets in the Western world?
You mean going into Hollywood?
Yeah, basically.
You know, uh, I used to actually be the kind of Nollywood actor who used to say, "Oh, Hollywood, we're going to Hollywood, we're going to Hollywood. The plan is Hollywood." But more recently, with my whole self-awareness journey and self-realization journey, and just being content with who I am, I've actually switched the narratives to, so who's going to be here in Hollywood if we all go to Hollywood?
Mm,
You know,
right.
all that leave and go to Hollywood. Who's going to be here? Who is going to stand here for the people of Nigeria? Who's going to represent us? So I'm actually very comfortable with being a Nollywood actor. I'm very comfortable with anybody referring to me as a Nollywood actor. You might call me local or call me whatever, or just not take me seriously. But this craft is paying my bills. It's taking care of me. It's giving me a certain type of fame that maybe I would have used 100 years in Hollywood to get.
Mm,
To get. But I could have also been very lucky. But yes, what I also think, when the time comes for me to probably do anything internationally, I've actually starred in a film, a Norwegian film, which we shot in Norway. I was the only Nigerian. So certain things like that will come. But I came as a Nollywood actor, I came in as a Nigerian in the
right.
film. That's if that happens in any Hollywood production where they want someone to play that, and they choose me. Oh, by all means, I'm gonna pack my bag and the way you called me, you were like, I asked where you're from, where you are. You say Cali. I'll be like, I'm in Cali, baby. About to shoot in Cali, baby.
That's right. No, that's hilarious.
No problem. But when I'm done, I'm gonna like to pack my bags. When I'm done with the projects, I'd like to pack my bags and come back here to work over here at the industry, to the point where we can now start. Hollywood actors can say, "Oh, how about we go join these Nollywood people, do one or two things." So
Right.
we must build that place. I don't mind traveling for work there, but I would never pack and go because I have some Hollywood dreams. Maybe I did, but I don't have.
No, that's facts. And then if you think about it too, I really like that answer that you gave because in the grand scheme of things, Nigeria has the potential. It has definitely the potential to be, as big, if not bigger, because first off, you think about the people, the amount of people that we have in Nigeria, so it just, I think it's just a matter of time and planning for when everyone does have access to Wi-Fi, everyone has access to internet, and will be able to use those streaming platforms, as well.
Mhm.
But once that happens, the actors are going to be making just as much money as people in Hollywood, or just as much fame, because Nigeria, I would say, is probably number one in Africa right now when it comes to movies and all those type things. So yeah,
Let me even shock you. The number one film right now in Nigeria that is breaking so many what's the word now? It's breaking boundaries, breaking so many records, in West Africa, in Africa, here in Nigeria, happens to be Omogeto the Saga, which I star in. And it's the number one. Right now, as we speak, as at a week ago, it was reported that this movie had made £500 million.
jeez.
Yes, £500 million. Well, I think that should be roughly over $1 million, over $1 million, probably $2 million thereabouts. And that's from a Nigerian film.
Mhm.
It shows that people are actually taking this industry seriously, and people are investing in this industry, and people are doing the best they can to make sure that we have products that we can export to the world.
Right.
So yeah, and right now the same Omogeta the Saga is showing in Dubai. It's the only Nigerian film showing in selected Novo cinemas in Dubai, which is great for me, honestly.
No, that's huge. That's huge. I never even knew that. Like $500 million. That's crazy. It's a crazy amount
Yes,
of money.
gross film, even with the Hollywood films that came into the country last year, Omogeto beat all their records and they sold as number one, highest.
Wow. And it was when did this movie? You said last year it came out?
Just December 25th. It's only been roughly a month, just over.
That's
Yes.
crazy. So imagine like the potential once Corona and everything has died down, theaters are
The,
open, and all those
the
things like this.
number one film, even in the middle of a global
Yeah.
pandemic.
No,
We're
that's
doing tell you that we're doing it. The industry is getting better and better, and I'm here and I'm giving it my full support. And Hollywood can come to us when it's time. For now, we're cool here.
I respect that. I really respect that. I really love that answer for sure. You know, can you talk about how you become such a prominent figure without any background and academic training in that area? I know you meant. Would you say it's your drive as a person, or
Um. So okay, sorry. Say your question again. Sorry.
yeah? So how have you become like such a prominent figure without any like training or like background like academic? So you didn't go to school for like acting or anything like that. So how have you become? Was that?
I barely even went to school.
Yeah,
You
exactly. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I have an OND and that's about it. I was going to further and go do my BSc, and then my path just kept on coming towards this part that I'm in right now.
Mhm.
Um, but I think I just, I don't know. Maybe we'll just call it talent, and the fact that I'm just harnessing this talent and I'm constantly building, reading about it, learning on the job, eager to learn, looking up to the people who have been in the industry before me. watching trainees, doing a few researches on my own, and just seeing how I can even be better and just be the Nancy Isime that everyone has come to love, especially for what I do. So, but I also owe it to my dad, because growing up, and as much as I didn't grow up, I'm not from a rich background. There's a song that we sing in Nigeria. I'll sing it for you. I love this song so much,
I
because
can really get this.
it's like the guy goes, "I was born with a silver spoon, then I lost the spoon." Did you
Yeah,
So he
yeah,
was spoon and he lost his spoon. So that's
mhm.
that's basically my
Basically, you
story.
are.
I was born into a rich home and then I lost the
You lost
spoon.
it.
I lost my spoon. But yeah, but one thing my dad still made sure of is that my English classes, I went to good schools, and that presenting is basically just being able to express yourself clearly, have good diction, and speak good English. I hope I'm speaking good English, because I don't want anybody to
Great
watch.
English.
I'm being good English speaking. But
That talks.
I speak good English, and talk shows really is about knowing your English words and knowing how to use it and knowing how to have a proper conversation. I love to talk. I can have a conversation with anybody. There's nobody I can't have a conversation with. Literally, I even have conversations with animals.
Wait,
Honestly,
you said animals?
no joke. It's
Like,
like birds and dogs. Like, I have full on conversations with them, and I'm like, look at me. So
like
I know. And I think that's just really what it takes. And I have grabbed every opportunity with both hands, both legs, my entire body, and I've just showed everyone that, yo, I'm here to actually work hard and I'm here to stay. And that in its own has rubbed off to majority of the productions that I've been on. I mean, right now I've won, the Future Awards Africa for best on-air personality. I've also won the Eloy exclusive Ladies of the Year award in Nigeria for best TV personality. I've won City People. I've won quite almost every year. I'm winning awards for being a TV personality. So I've been able to do this, and then I don't know if you know this, but I'm also the Nigerian host for the first female Nigerian host for The Voice Nigeria.
right.
Yes, and I'm hosting. There's a really huge show here in the country called The Headies. It's an award show for the music industry, and it's quite. Yeah, and I'm hosting for the second time, and I'm the first female to host not just twice but consecutively. So
Oh,
yeah, and it's just, in as much as this is huge and it's the hype is, woo, okay, yes, first, it also means that I'm putting in work, and I'm the organizers of these shows and these award shows and all of these things believe that what they see with this person is someone who can work hard to continue to make sure that things go as they should go. So yeah.
no, for sure. I feel like it's definitely good sometimes to, just talk about the accolades to really, you know, see how far you've come, especially from the jump. Like from being an usher and then now you're hosting the Headies twice in a row. That's crazy.
It's
Crazy.
mind. That's something I'm learning. Sometimes for us, out of let's be humble.
Hmm.
We want to talk down on ourselves and not want to say nice things about ourselves. And that's something I'm learning through meditation and self awareness and self realization. And it's okay to actually, say your accolades loud to yourself.
Hmm.
It's okay. You deserve it. You're worthy of it. So say it. I'm this, I am that, and you just say it.
Yeah.
It's okay not to say things like, oh, I'm ugly, I have a fat head, I failed, I tried this, it didn't work. So why can't I say the things that I've tried that worked? So
Right.
that's
No,
you
for
know.
sure. And this is a little side question, but I've heard you talk about meditation, a couple of times now. I feel like there's such a negative stigma. I mean, it's changing now, but in Africa, it's usually you meditate or it's like some demonic type thing that someone thinks that you're doing. But like, can you touch on how you got into meditation in general and how it's
this
good to you?
this demonic thing you just talked about, it
Crazy.
is real,
Hmm.
because if you go under the post of me meditating, when I'm talking about meditation, you
Mhm.
literally go under and you see Jesus Christ is the truth, the life. This thing
Those people will be crazy, bro. It's nuts.
you are doing is demonic.
Yeah.
Oh, oh, some people when I meditate and put it on my stories, I say, don't vanish, oh, don't vanish.
Oh my god. And they're
But
so
what
serious too. They're so serious. It's not even like they just don't know.
I still pray, I believe in God, but what they don't understand is meditation is more mental than anything else. It does not interfere with any religion whatsoever. Meditation basically just preaches self-awareness, self-realization, self-love, and mental health aware. Like it's just basically take care of your mind because our entire being is here. And I feel like most people want us to know this is why they just branded certain things as demonic and branded certain things because they know that if you finally realize who you are, you know, different mechanisms like reading, like meditating, like researching, that's why the black man, I don't know why it's so hard for us to read. We don't like to read, you know entering trouble here, left, right, center, because we don't read. We don't read our contracts. We don't read what is written. I can literally write an entire post about something, and then somebody used to come and say, "This is your picture. Why is your leg bent?" But meanwhile, in the comment, in my caption, I told you why my leg was bent. You just do not want to read, So that's the thing. I feel like meditation is now being people are learning more about it. I also I was a bit skeptical about it, especially the whole sage burning, Palo Santo burning, meditating with candles, scented candles, until I just sat down to really research these things. And I realized that most times we're just scared of things we don't know. That's why
That's it.
whatever we don't understand, we term bad, we term
Mhm.
evil, we term demonic. You just need to learn, darling. Just learn about it before
Right.
and when you learn about it, you realize, oh, okay, this isn't so bad. And then you try. The first time I ever meditated, I was scared. I was opening one of my eyes, opening just
Where the demons are, yeah.
before Buddha would just appear before me and be like, so I was just like, Even meditating on my app the other time, I've been meditating for almost a year. And my app the other time told me that I had meditated for over 1,000, minutes. You
Wow.
know, that's if I think it was about the time I checked, it was 1 3 something. So it showed that I'd meditated for at least for 10 minutes for over 130 days. And that was last year. So it meant I'd been meditating that much. And I love it. I love it. I think people should give meditation a try and just do it and talk about it. Whoever wants to catch on is fine. Who does not want to is fine. At least God will know that I did the good work of telling you about this
Oh yeah,
amazing thing.
exactly, right. No, I mean, you've done your job, and whoever has complaining, obviously they need to meditate as well too, because there's a
You
lot to do there.
can't meditate like, oh, if you meditate, you stop judging people. Oh
Yeah,
my
right.
gosh.
It's too much about yourself to worry about and to go and worry about other people. It's crazy. But
Mm.
I guess that just comes with the fame, innit?
Mm.
It's just part of the thing. So you just have to just allow it.
Yeah,
And,
that, but okay.
yeah. So the last question I have for you is, how do you wish to see the future of Africa, like in general?
I really honestly hope that, we get to a point where we're very proud to be Africans,
Mm,
you know, where we're happy to be home, where we don't have to quantify how well we're living by traveling abroad.
right. It's facts.
Because for an average African man, what shows that you have money is that you have traveled to the abroad.
Hmm.
You have been to America, London, Paris,
Yeah.
Amsterdam, travel. You know,
Right.
An average American or an average British man have probably never been to Africa. And it's not like anything is wrong with that. Do you get me?
Hmm.
He's probably 80 years old, he's lived all his life, he's traveled the world, but he's never been to Africa.
Right.
And they don't feel like anything has changed. And no matter how wealthy these people are. But over here, wealth is equated to how well traveled. Yes, traveling a lot can help, especially with exposure. I can't lie. Sometimes there's some men that behave like animals, and I'm just like, you need to travel.
So shots fired over here.
Travel more. I'm like, you're not exposed.
They need some culture.
You travel and see how things are done abroad so that you can learn how to be a better man, but that's also part of the process of learning better. But I'm really looking forward to the time where we as Africans do our own right,
Hmm.
you know, can do the best we can right here, can create futures for our children. We can't keep taking this money and going to put them in other economies that, you know, the other economies and keep growing those economies. And here we're just destroying here. You understand?
Right.
You're treating your home like, but let me just get out of here. And it also has to even do with our government, because our governments even do not take this place seriously. So how much more we the citizens do you get? So I'm really looking forward to a future where my children can go to the best schools here, you know, being trained in school by the best Nigerians, you
Mhm.
know, how to speak correctly, how to behave properly, where there are so many tourist attraction centers here in Africa that would compete with any tourist attraction in Europe and around the world.
Facts.
Where we can just be in our Africa for ourselves. If we want to travel less, I could travel for business, we could travel for work, we could travel to go have meetings, but I look forward to an Africa where all of these embassies don't have long queues of
She's tired.
Africa where you go to embassies and there's just one or two people and you can tell these people are going for work or going to we would make this place a green pasture where we start to see white people, who have, I'm not racist, but we just start to see people from across the world queue in our embassies to come into our country because of how well we've taken care of our country, and how they want to come in here and work with us and partner with us. I look forward to an Africa like that. I
No,
honestly.
no. Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that aspect as well. So I feel like we have so much. We have, first of all, there's like 54 African countries, and I would say an average African country probably goes to like maybe three, four: South Africa, Egypt, Nigeria, Ghana. But there's so much, we have the east, we have the south. There's so much, landscapes that we can touch on. That look exactly like Europe or better. I would say it looks better. Like countries like Uganda, countries like Morocco. We have all those. Anything you can find in Europe, you'll find in Africa. We even have snow in some parts.
Have so many islands. Mauritius is actually in Africa.
Yeah,
Seychelles, Zanzibar,
it's crazy.
amazing tourism sites there.
Mm.
Rwanda is gorgeous. Kenya, like we're getting there. We're actually honestly, we're getting there, and then even our fashion. Me, I'm guilty of. I love designers, so I'm not gonna lie, I
The
still
Gucci and all those things, isn't it?
so make I not lie give you, but I look forward. And to be honest with you, it's because these designers honestly give you a value for your money. That
Mm.
look forward to we African designers as well, giving the people who patronize us the value for their money, not just calling price and doing rubbish, but also taking our work so seriously. Designers here taking their job so seriously with branding and everything. That is so okay to actually carry a famous Nigerian brand and not feel like you're missing out on anything, because that's the art that all these designers around the world have mastered, giving you quality for your money. That's what we really buy,
Mm.
So us producing, taking our time to produce. This is produced in Nigeria. I don't think the hoodie was I don't know if it's manufactured in Nigeria, But my merch guy, hooked me up with this nice stuff, that
Fresh.
right exactly. And he
You
did
sell
it.
those?
No, but the show's merch, I don't sell low.
Yeah, you gotta sell them.
Abby,
Yeah.
I don't know if I can handle business, to be honest with you. I just like if I close this place, I beg. I don't like stress.
Mhm.
That calm, but I'm happy with the stress that I'm getting from the job that I do right now. That I'm just happy with all the challenges. It's okay to cry and still come up. But I don't know if I try business and I cry one day, that might be it. I'll just back up.
You guys could have it, right?
I know, no, I didn't even want to do it before. I didn't even want to do it. So
That's hilarious.
better when it's something you love to do. So when you're crying, it's worth it. So
Yeah, exactly. Well, Nancy, yeah, thank you very much for coming on our platform. It was very insightful, hearing from you and getting, to hear about your experience and your life in general.
thank you so much. I enjoy. It felt like a video call. I didn't even feel like I was being interviewed.
Yeah, see, this is really cool. Thank
It's
you.
good. Thank you so much for having me.